Okay, let's do this thing. What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Friday night Smackdown review. Smackdown, what do we got going on this week? As we are a few weeks away from Summerslam, we kick it off in Orlando with Michael Cole in the middle of the ring announcing Pat McAfee's return. Pat McAfee was now on Smackdown last week due to Baron Corbin attacking him at Money in the Bank, and he also acknowledged that Pat McAfee just recently signed a multi-year contract extension with the WWE. So, he announced him bringing him out for his entrance. Pat McAfee, welcomed everybody to SmackDown also. He said he wanted to apologize for not being on the show last week, that you have to be forced to listen to Corey Graves and, bum-ass Corbin for over 17 minutes. And, he wanted to show why he wasn't here during that time, which they did show the footage from Money in the Bank. And even them on commentary last week, dancing Shinsuke's music. McAfee's basically said, my neck is not, it's bruised, it's not fractured. And he told Corbin, hey, I want to tell a story about Corbin, that him and Corbin used to be roommates, rookies together when they played for the Indianapolis Colts. And, Corbin still had the bad body and hair and all that stuff. And he's just become an insufferable D-bag. He said this ain't TV 14 yet, which I'm going to address that in a second after this little segment. But with him saying it's not TV 14, talking about his match at SummerSlam coming up with him, which he said he's ready to do that. Corbin showed up on the screen then and saying that McAfee should just stay. I heard something. So just stay on the announce table. Corbin says just go back to, run your mouth and punt footballs and all that stuff. And Corbin basically showed these red welts on his arm. Maybe it's monkeypox or something, okay? I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this match at SummerSlam and everything. He said, and allergic in front of fans, as McAfee said. McAfee said, yeah, we're going to move the show along and everything, and introduce Liv Morgan in, who had a match coming up. So as that ended, good segment. Pat McAfee has the crowd in the palm of his hands. I'll say that, especially with the bum-ass Corbin thing. I will say this one little thing about the whole TV-14 thing, because I know it's been going back and forth about that. First they saying it's going to be TV-14 this Monday. Now it's not going to be. It'll be saved for a later date, which it is going to be coming. Or for Raw, I didn't say that, for SmackDown. I will say this thing about the whole TV-14 deal real quick. One, is it really going to make the show any better or change, or less creative change, or we get some compelling storylines, interesting people to watch? Then maybe you could sit there and say it'll change. Yes, you'll get some more curse words, maybe a little bit more blood, and show some ass here and there, which I believe maybe that's what they've done with NXT already, some would say, because they've let people say asshole on there, and they have been pushing the sex thing lately. But, time will tell, because let's remember WWE has been PG for many years. I know people like to say it's the reality era or the indie era. It still had the PG logo there at the end of the day. And I've shitted on the PG thing in the past, and I know that had to be done back then. I think it was due to one of Lynn McMahon's Senate campaigns, if I'm not mistaken. Also with sponsors and stuff. Some wonder, why would WWE do this when you have so many sponsors you have to please right now? Because they have to be careful in the stuff they do nowadays. Okay? I'm seeing people think that, we're going to get the Attitude Era back. Listen, you're not getting the Attitude Era back. As someone who's loved the Attitude Era as much as I have also, it's not going to come back. Or even if they tried to, it would not work, okay? And there's many reasons why it would not work for it coming back. It was a different time and whatnot. Then again, we were bigger stars at the time, too, and everybody had a pop every week. And listen, every idea is not going to work like it. And so half the ideas in the Attitude Era didn't work, because one thing, everybody is so offended nowadays. Everything is becoming this PC, SJW culture and whatnot, that you say the littlest thing, you're offended. I think AJ Styles said this a while ago, if I'm not mistaken, that fans right now would not survive the Attitude Era, if I remember. And don't get me wrong, yeah, the Attitude Era did have some offensive stuff. I'm not going to say that they didn't and whatnot. Which wouldn't fly nowadays. But now even the smallest minuscule, even if it's not really that bad, someone will sit there and find some way to moan and bitch and cry on the internet, and then they gotta be forced to change shit up then, because they gotta please whoever. Maybe it's the sponsors, maybe it's the Mark fans, I don't know. But we live in this whole it's a generation thing also. It's just like people say, it's soft or it's just the PC bullshit, okay? You know, I'm not a fan of a lot of stuff that goes on right now because, you know, the quote-unquote cancel culture, which is a bunch of bullshit as it is anyways, and whatnot, is fucking ridiculous, okay? But, like I said, now they would not be able to work. And I've seen people say, you know, we're going to get the bra and panties matches back. Dude, that ain't coming back, okay? That's not coming back. Some would say you got hotter women on NXT nowadays and whatnot, but dude, you're not going to get bra and panties matches. The business has changed. Women's wrestling has changed. A lot has changed. That's not coming back. It ain't coming back. Alright? It's just not. Alright? Because some people, I've seen people, you know, maybe we get some twerking in the ring, or, you know, of course, I've seen the word Nikita Lyons thrown out a lot. Seen that name been thrown a lot, trust me. But I don't think a lot of that's going to happen, okay? So time will tell when they go TV 14. But the question is here. Is the show really going to change for the better? Really think about that for a second. Really think, or is it going to be business as usual? So why go to TV 14 at this point in the game now? Just think about that. But next, Natalya went against Liv Morgan. You know, I've been hearing about this stuff. Well, I've seen a couple of the... what was it? I guess Natalya was no-selling Liv Morgan's finisher on a house show. And I heard that Natalya apparently got a lot of heat because of it. I saw the footage and everything. I pretend it's a house show. I don't really know because it doesn't look like it's really leading anything. And they still had a match on here tonight. And, you know, Morgan still won, you know, beating Natalya and everything. It wasn't a bad match and whatnot. But, you know... Some people say, you know, Natalya was unprofessional, or she should be fired, or which I didn't really think much of it and whatnot. You know, Natalya, I know a lot of people don't really give a shit about Natalya in general for many reasons. Never said Natalya was a bad wrestler or anything. It's just, you know, Natalya has just... And it's just never enough interesting sometimes with her sometimes. So... I don't really know if to comment on this all the way, what if it was a work or not, but I'm sorry, people wanted her fired or released due to the whole no selling a house show thing, so I'm not really sure. You know, right after they, you know, interviewed Liv Morgan and talked about her match coming up at SummerSlam with Natalya, and she said she was still, not Natalya, I mean Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, and that she still would be the champion. Next, Mega Morant was in the back with, Austin Theory, as he says the Money in the Bank winner. Paul Heyman showed up then and said, hey, you're better than Caleb Braxton, but I need to talk to him for a second. Listen, I can give you the biggest break in your career, okay? Instead of doing the whole cashing in thing, you can challenge Roman Reigns at a later date on a big stage, on a big event. Think about that. Which Theory said, you know, that's good advice, but I'm still going to cash it in, okay? Because, you know, once I do, maybe you'll need your own special counsel then. So... that's pretty interesting. So Theory not falling for Heyman's tricks. Next, right after the Viking Raiders music hit, it was the New Day dressed as them. And as they made these jokes about, you know, Assassin's Creed and the Thor movies, which I have not seen a new Thor movie yet, and even saying, you know, calling them like, you know, UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly, which the fans actually reacted to that. And as they talked and made all these, you know, jokes and stuff, and some of them were not funny, they came out then, the real ones. Jinder and Shanky attacked them, and they ended up fighting them off as they started dancing. I don't really know what to think about this. Like, I've seen the New Day get their asses kicked by these guys 2 weeks in a row now instead of tonight. Or, you know, this episode of Smackdown. But, yeah, half of that segment just was not funny with the New Day. I don't know what's up with their comedy sometimes, but it's not always funny, okay? It's been like that for a minute, but still, not always funny there. Walter and Bartel were in the back as they talked about Walter chopping his own partner or, you know, friend there for losing to Shinsuke. And he said it was unacceptable and it has consequences, which he made him pull out his jacket and chop them again. It just looks painful. So, yeah, you know, maybe the other guy in Imperium, which I don't know what to say about his new gimmick right now all the way, but, yeah, maybe he did catch the better. Just don't have to get chopped. Aaliyah came out there to face Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans had cut this promo wanting to restart the music, and I'm better than y'all, and I'm a Marine, and I've done this, and the fans chanting, "You suck." I'm disgusted with the reaction you've given me and what now, and you guys are nothing. And so you know what? And she got what chance, by the way. And I'm gonna apologize to anybody who's offended, and they booed her, and they didn't accept the apology. And basically, she told everybody to go to hell and left. So yeah, just think about this Lacey Evans. Maybe it is working as a good heat. I don't even know. Not even sure. Because I knew the face thing was not getting over. Right after that, Sheamus, Rich Holland, and Butch Pete Dunne came out. Drew, I guess, was going to have this match again with Sheamus, but ended up being against Rich Holland since Sheamus couldn't do it for whatever reason. Drew went against Holland. Drew won. Sheamus tried to get him, but they ended up backing down then. Drew had his sword in his hand, so I guess it's going to lead to getting his hands on Sheamus because he already beat up Pete Dunne, and now he beat up Holland there, so we'll see where it leads to next with if he ever gets to Sheamus. Theory made his entrance as Madcap Moss was about to make his entrance. Heyman showed up again, basically saying, "I'll give you a big break, man. Just listen to me, okay? You could cash in at Summerslam. Think about that. Come on." And he wanted to shake his hand, but Moss said, "That sounds good, but really you need to worry about Theory cashing in and stuff." So I guess you're gonna get a piece of him. I guess next week Max Dupree and his sister will debut next week. I don't know where that's gonna go. Austin Theory went against Moss, which is actually a pretty good match out there, I would say, but it ended up in a DQ finish. Theory ended up using his briefcase and hitting Moss with it. Sami Zayn came out there then as, you're not cashing in anything. His arm was in a sling. You disrespected Roman Reigns. You disrespected the bloodline and told him to apologize. Theory said, "You're a suck-up. And what are you going to do with one arm?" Usos came out there and got a pretty good reaction out there. Moss ended up, taking out Austin Theory, throwing him into the ring post and whatnot, and leaving him there. So, yeah, a lot going on out here. Faces, heels, where is it going? I don't know why this ended in the DQ finish. Because they kept calling Moss and Theory the future to WWE. I heard that several times from the announcers. So, I already know what Theory they already got. But there are already plans of emotion for him. Moss, I don't know right now. But, a lot going on. Sammy getting involved. There's going to be a lot of screwy stuff coming up at SummerSlam with a lot of people getting involved. But Angelo Dawkins winning against Jimmy Uso. Good match. Dawkins ended up getting win with the Sky High. Jimmy Uso's shoulder was still up. They kept talking about. And Adam Pearce, since he was going to announce the special guest referee at SummerSlam, he has the perfect man for the job. And given this is Nashville, they brought in Jeff Jarrett there. Jeff Jarrett, they had a video package because I didn't really know who was going to be at, SummerSlam and whatnot. So there was no telling. Honestly, it would have been interesting. I wonder if Rikishi would have been it, but they probably would have just sided with the Usos. Because what if he did turn on his own kids? That would have been made interesting. Because I don't know who could have been a special guest referee, but this is Nashville. It's Jeff Jarrett. He's from Nashville and whatnot. So I know Jarrett's got a new position in the company nowadays. I recommend watching the episode with him and Stone Cold Steve Austin on Austin's podcast. Very good interview. I really recommend watching that. But yeah, SmackDown tonight. Not bad. Like I said, a lot of stuff leading into SummerSlam and everything. Like I said, Jeff Jarrett will be the special guest referee, Slapnuts himself. So, yeah, Heyman trying to stir the pot with people. McAfee being back. So, yeah, a lot going on SmackDown tonight. But other than that, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, HoodNight890. I'll see you guys then. Peace.